Yo, what is going on, guys? I hope you are all doing well. So on today's episode, we have yet another special one for you here today of 30-plus-year-old women trying to date. So this first woman that we have here is pissed off, okay? She is not happy. And the reason she is not happy is because she has just been ghosted. Now, the funniest part about this, guys, because we all know, a lot of these women, when they get to 30, they're trying to date. They get ghosted left, right, and center. But this woman is especially hilarious because this is her first time, apparently, okay? This is her first time being ghosted. She's not happy about it. It is a huge injustice, obviously. So without further ado, let's jump in. As always, guys, don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments. Let's take a listen.
Can we just talk about ghosting for a quick minute? Because I'm 35 and I've never been ghosted in my life. Nor have I ever done that to anybody because I just don't, that's not me.
That's absolute nonsense, okay? Guys, women do not get to age 35 and, they're still out there, they're still single, hunting for their Prince Charming by, not ignoring their Prince Charmings, okay? Guys, I've said this many times, but you cannot get to this age as a woman who is not disfigured and not ignore men and still be single, right? And not ghost dudes, not leave them on red, okay? Because this is the year 2024. Yes, chivalry is a little bit down the drain, but that doesn't mean that men are still not out here trying, okay? So if you get to 35 and you're still single, you want me to believe that you haven't been ghosting men, I'm sorry, I just don't buy it. I do not buy it.
And I've never been ghosted in my life. Nor have I ever done that to anybody because I just don't, that's not me. Wow. And for an overthinker, wow. Those that get it will get it. But it's just got me thinking, like it's fine, I'm cool, do you know what I mean? Whatever, you move on, don't you? But do you know what I don't get? Why do people struggle so much with communication and being honest? Yeah, if you're bored of me, or if somebody else has come along and caught your eye and then now, took your place, that's cool. But fucking say. Just be honest and say, look, you're fired. I've got a promotion. That's cool.
Do you guys know why men are not honest to these women? Number one is because these dudes, these men with options, they don't care. Now, I'm not saying that's right. I'm not saying that's, that's the good thing to do. But let me just cut to the chase here, okay? These men who are playing games with you, quote unquote, who are ghosting you, these guys are not interested in a traditional relationship with you. They're just there for their fun, and they're going to ditch you. I'm not saying that's the right thing, but all I'm saying is it's pretty damn obvious. That's number one. Number two, even if a man does want to be honest with you, to be honest with you guys, not a lot of these women can handle a man being truthful to them. They absolutely lose their minds, right? This is, this woman is 35 years of age. She's saying this is the first time she's been ghosted. This woman has probably heard the word no very little in her life. Now, if a man comes along and he says no, he's not interested, some of these women, despite what media may tell you about men being dangerous, some of these women are downright dangerous if you don't want to commit to them. They're petty as hell, okay? They'll slash your car tires. They'll start messaging your family if they know them. Some of these women are downright crazy. So this is why men just want to cut it. They don't want to talk to you, and they just want to leave it be, okay? Let's continue on to the next clip here of, assumedly, another 30-plus-year-old woman trying to date. Okay, so we've got this woman down here. She's the one who's going to not be happy, it seems. She's already not happy about what's transpiring. So let's take a listen.
Just be honest.
Dating apps create a terrible dynamic for men, where a small number of men get all of the invitations. And that means they can become jerks. They can be rude, they can date multiple women, and then the women feel men are jerks. But you've got most of the men are getting no bites, they're getting no dates, and they feel women are jerks. All they want is, X, Y, and Z. So I think the dating apps are one of the reasons driving the sexes apart. Again, this is for heterosexual dating. Just driving the sexes apart, making it more difficult to date, to court, to fall in love, to marry, to have children. So I think we're going to look back on this and say the dating apps had all these unintended consequences that are really messing up the romantic lives of Gen Z.
Don't forget the millennials, my guy. My friend sent me this video yesterday and I was like, oh my God, mind blown. So curious what everyone thinks after watching that. I can give you the female perspective being representative of only myself, okay? I think what he's saying is true. I think that us females go for a lot of the same guys on apps, which I think stems from the fact that people overall are burnt out by dating apps and the fact that they don't work that well.
Right, so we were close to taking accountability for a second there, but then we had to blame it on something else. Okay, the translation of all of this, guys, this whole thing right here, is that so many of these women are entitled. That's it. They date men who are well above them, and they think that they can land commitment, and if they don't, then the man is the problem, right? The man is always the problem. If a man doesn't want to give away his resources, if he doesn't want to risk his house or risk having children with you, or he doesn't want to commit to you for any number of reasons, then men are the problem, right? And these women, they will blame everybody but themselves, okay?
Okay, I think what he's saying is true. I think that us females go for a lot of the same guys on apps.
Yeah, and then we get the but.
Which I think stems from the fact that people overall are burnt out by dating apps and the fact that they don't work that well.
Yeah, so the reason why you chase after Chad is because you're burnt out with dating. Interesting dodge of accountability right there.
Get us to the point of actually pulling the trigger and going on a date with someone, you have to be tall, hot, have a good job, interesting. Like, you have to be legitimately perfect. Except that's not how relationships and compatibility actually work in the real world. My apps are deleted, but when I had them, I'm sure there are people that I passed up on there that would actually be someone I'd have a good connection with. But since they weren't perfect on an app, I would never potentially waste a night on that person that I could have been spending with my friends that I know I like, and I'm guaranteed gonna have a good night.
Yeah, so, I mean, hey guys, at least she's honest right here. She would rather be one of Chad's playthings, one of many for an attractive man, than to date a man who is actually on her level. That's all that it is, right? And this is true of many modern women, guys, right? They would rather be part of essentially a little harem, right? They would rather be, Chad's number 5, Chad's number 6 mini girlfriend thing, who doesn't even get commitment from him. They would rather be that than to go out there and actually date a guy who they could get commitment from. And this is why I don't feel sympathy for these women, gentlemen, when they get to 35 and they're crying because they realize, they're out of eggs and they can't have a family, and they start, the whole world is the problem and men are the problem, is because they could have their happy relationships, guys. They could have their family, they could have their marriage, despite the fact that I think marriage is a terrible idea for men. They could go out there and have all of those things, but they are so damn arrogant, right? And they would rather be one of Chad's playthings than to actually have a committed relationship with a man who wants to be with them. I mean, hey, if that's the game you want to play, that's fine by me. A lot of guys will see this and they'll either go their own way or they'll just have fun with you, use you, and not commit to you. Either way, you're the one that loses. Have fun trying to retire, okay? And women will inevitably, guys, when they get to 35 and 40, they start crying about, needing that connection and sense of stability because they realize they don't want to work for the rest of their life. So all those guys who went their own way, they worked, they grinded at the gym, they grinded on their career, right? These guys who make money, all of a sudden these women are like, please help us, please save us. No.
Had them, I'm sure there are people that I passed up on there that would actually be someone I'd have a good connection with, but since they weren't perfect on an app, I would never potentially waste a night on that person that I could have been spending with my friends that I know I like, and I'm guaranteed gonna have a good night. I don't think it was always like this. I think pre-COVID, it was more balanced. It is a broken system.
I love how this woman is, saying it's the system. Look, it's a combination of the system and the women, but like, notice how she just takes, like, I can't even say she takes no accountability here because she does. She says that, listen, I don't want to date a guy unless he's perfect. She doesn't want to change, certainly. None of these women want to change their behavior. They want to go out there and they want to do the same thing, despite what they may say, guys. They might say, oh, the system is broken and dating sucks, but they won't do anything different. They'll continue to go out there and chase the dudes who are, you know, who don't want a relationship with them because he's attractive and he's tall. Okay, and that's the end of the story, guys, you know? That's why you end up 35 years of age and you're ghosted and you know, you can't find a relationship with a man.
Broken system.
Here's something to watch out for when you're on the dating apps. You want to make sure that that guy is 100% divorced.
I love these women who, you know, they make up their own niche on TikTok at this point, don't they? They are 30-plus-year-old women who have been unable to secure commitment, and then what they decide is a good career path is they become a dating coach for women. That's just, it's so funny to me, right? They go out here and you have single women giving advice to other single women, okay? And this woman is saying, listen, you want to make sure that the guy you're dating is, you know, 100% divorced. I think, guys, truthfully, I think a lot of women who are, you know, dating married men know that they're married and they just want to screw with a guy who's married because they're attracted to that. You cannot convince me that you have so many women out here who are like, oh, wow, I didn't know he was married. Women chase after dudes who are in relationships. Women chase after dudes who are in marriages. The secret is out. The cat is out of the bag, okay?
Divorced, not separated, and not a year or two out. They need to be like 3 to 5 years out. Because here's the thing. That woman threw him back into the dating pool. She didn't want him anymore. And his ego is so busted and bruised that he is not going to know what to do with you when you enter his life. He's going.
What did I just hear, man? The man got thrown out of a relationship. So obviously the man's the problem. Number one, she's assuming that the man was the issue here. But you know, she might have some truth to the fact that he was thrown out, considering women are the ones who are ending their marriages. Very empowered of you. How very strong and independent. Yeah, but the man's ego is so bruised, he doesn't know what to do with you. What kind of disgusting language is this? No wonder this woman is single, sitting here talking about men's egos and crap.
Going to love bomb the crap out of you, and then he is going to dump you.
Okay, so too long didn't read. The man's not going to commit to you. What a shocker. Right? The man's, so let me translate this. In this woman's mind, okay, the man's ego is so bruised and so wounded that's the reason why he won't give you a relationship. Hey, lady, maybe the man won't give you a relationship because you're an awful person to be around. You ever think about that? Right? Did you ever think about what your personality might contribute to this dynamic? Of course not, right? It's just the bruised male ego, and that's why he doesn't want to give you a relationship. Let me tell you why a lot of guys don't want to give you a relationship. Number one, because you're annoying and you speak like a psycho. But number two, these men who are out of these marriages, they don't want to get married again. A lot of them don't want to have relationships again. Right? They're not interested in going through that whole debacle ever again. They just want to go out there, they want to work, and they want to fish and relax. They don't want the headache, they don't want the stress. They just want to be left the hell alone. Really not that hard.
To dump you, because the last thing a guy that just got divorced wants is any drama, and anything you do that is a real life situation is going to feel like drama to them.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Have you guys noticed that some of my videos have gone missing over here on YouTube? That is because I am slowly moving them over to locals where I can actually host them without the risk of getting in trouble. If you are not aware, many creators are starting to move over to places like locals, Rumble, etc. because YouTube is not really a free speech platform. So if you are interested in supporting the channel and getting access to videos that are no longer available here, make sure that you come and join us over on locals. The link will be in the video description down below. Supporters get access to their own exclusive videos that are no longer available to the public. So make sure you go to the link in the description and join us over there now. But anyway, guys, back to today's episode. I just looked away from the screen for a second, guys. Did she just throw up quotations when she said drama? What is this? Hang on.
Anything you want is any drama.
Yeah, yeah. So we all realize what's just happened right now. This woman got thrown out of the relationship, or she didn't even get one. And the reason the man gave was because she was too dramatic. I'd believe it, honestly. Yeah, I would 100% believe that. This woman is too much of a headache to get a relationship out of a man. The man didn't want to give her a relationship because there's too much drama. Yep, I could totally, I'm not even being sarcastic, guys. I could 1000% understand that. And this is what I'm talking about. Men don't want the stress. They don't want the drama. They don't want the headaches. And that's what you are, right? Of course, this guy, and that was the reason he gave her. And notice how she doesn't believe it. She's like, I'm not dramatic, right? I'm not stressful. I'm not giving the man a headache. But she doesn't even understand that by denying it, that's exactly what she's doing. I'm not a headache. I'm a lovable person, you know?
The last thing a guy that just got divorced wants is any drama. And anything you do that is a real life situation is going to feel like drama to them.
That actually makes no sense, right? If you guys think about what she said, that makes no sense. Anything you do that is a real life situation feels like drama to them. What does that even mean? What you know, I think you're just dramatic all of the time. That's why you feel as though, you know, this guy is putting this unfair label on you. I think you're just dramatic all of the time.
And they're not going to be able to handle it. And you're going to be left out in the cold with a guy who love bombed the crap out of you and promised you the world. And then when it came down to it, he was just really looking for validation. And he just wanted to feel wanted and admired again.
No, let me tell you what happened. He came across you. He thought that, oh, wow, she's pretty for her age. Or he thought, you know, wow, maybe I could have a relationship with this woman. So he told you he loved you and he cared about you and he gave you flowers. And then, you know, a little while in, your psycho mask began to slip. He realized that you were dramatic. He realized that you were a pain in the neck and a headache. And then he didn't want a relationship with you anymore. That's what happened. Right? He probably got out. He's like, oh, this woman isn't half bad. But then your mask, see, the problem is your mask didn't last long enough. Right? You were only able to hide the psycho for not enough time. Right? Maybe if you held it on for longer, you'd be able to be his second wife and try and take him for more money. So you see how these women, like, they manipulate the whole situation when the reality of the situation is that the man just didn't want to be with them.
So be really, really careful. Again, go slow. Make sure that they are fully divorced and they're out of the divorce for 3 to 5 years.
Okay, so I am really struggling right now. I genuinely just feel so behind in life. One of the things that I feel like I'm really struggling with right now is just not having anyone to really talk to. I've never felt this way before, if I'm being completely honest, but
I guarantee you this woman has plenty of people to talk to, but she decides to talk to social media so she can get more attention and validation from strangers. I'm sorry, guys, but as a woman, and particularly one that's, you know, doesn't have any large facial issues or anything like this, birth defects, whatever, if you're an average woman, there is no shortage of people for you to talk to. You can go on Instagram, post a story with you looking half sad, and you'll get people replying to it, asking you what's wrong, right? Like, it's really not that difficult. If you're an average guy, things might be hard for you socially, but for women, you just can't convince me that you have nobody to talk to. This is, again, just nonsense, attention-seeking nonsense.
I know a lot of women feel this way. I think when you hit a certain age or a certain time in your life when all of your friends are just in a completely different stage of life than you are, it can get really lonely. All of my friends are in relationships. They're either married or they're in a relationship. They have lives that they're building of their own. And for the first time in my whole life, like, I actually just feel like I am alone and I'm
Yeah, so this woman, guys, if you're not watching the screen right then, she just threw up a bit of text. And she says, I'm not jealous of them. I love that they are happy. Yeah, sure. I'm so happy. I'm not jealous at all, but I'm making a video about how I feel lonely on TikTok. All right, buddy.
I am alone and I'm by myself, and that sucks. Like, I think about this concept of being needed and being wanted. And I'm not sure if I'm going to articulate this correctly, but I think at one point in each and every single one of my friendships, the close ones especially, I was both needed and wanted, right? Like, we needed each other in terms of support, and we wanted to be around each other.
As our lives continued to progress and evolve, it was more so of like they needed me less, which is great. Like in the grand scheme of things, like genuinely so great, so happy for them. And that need basically turned into a want where they would want to have me around whenever they wanted to see me. Whereas I feel like I never really stopped needing them. Sometimes I feel like I need my friends more than ever.
Yeah, guys, you know, going out to the club by yourself is only fun so many times. Okay? What's happening here is this woman's friends. She's approaching 30 or mid-30s. You could never tell with the filters and the makeup. You know, she's going into that stage of her life where everybody else is ahead of her. They're getting married, they have long-term relationships, maybe a few of them are having kids, and she's still here. She's still the single one who wants to have her 3 or 4 best friends to go out there and do shenanigans. But she doesn't have them anymore, so she feels lonely.
I don't know if it's just me or if like I don't really understand the concept of friendship. Not coming at my friends. My friends are great, genuinely so great. They're there to always support me and I know I can always go to them. It's not a matter of going to them. It's like a matter of like, how do I get through these periods of like when I feel so alone and I don't feel like I'm capable enough or good enough or smart enough or pretty enough or anything enough to even make it to the next stage of my life. Like I don't have anybody in my life that's sitting here telling me that like I can do it or they believe in me. And like then it makes me think like, wow, do I really need others to tell me that they believe in me in order for me to believe in myself?
Okay, that's the end of the video. I don't believe in you at all. I think your situation is probably quite hopeless. But hey, don't worry, guys. I'm just very negative. I'm sure your Prince Charming is around the corner. Maybe if you hold off another decade, he might show up. If he doesn't show up in the next, 5 years, maybe you could try manifesting. I've heard that's pretty good. Maybe you could also try Tinder, Bumble, and Hinge. I've heard there are plenty of Prince Charmings on there. If he doesn't give you commitment right away, what you want to do is you want to continue to see him in an intimate fashion for, up to 24 months, I would say. But if he doesn't give you a relationship by the 2-year mark, then obviously he's the problem and he has communication issues. But I think, with all of that said, you should be totally fine. Guys, we are going to be leaving today's episode there. As always, make sure to leave your thoughts and your comments. What do you think of some of these women who are dating over 30? Do you guys believe in them like I believe in them? As always, make sure you take care of yourselves, and I'll be seeing you all in the next one. Peace.